won't say who because I don't want to embarrass them, but one day they came to me and said, look, we're going to stop selling protein to you if you don't. I've said this before, but the first thing I thought about when I woke up was my protein. All I thought about and all I did all day, and actually I dreamt about it. I've heard footballers talking about when they retire, what do they do? You know, one day I'm running a business, the next day I'm not. It's quite a big switch. I wasn't prepared for that, if I'm honest, and I think if I would have thought about it more, I should have been better prepared. But obviously, you live and you learn.
What's the goal now?
Look, I always want to better myself. That's something I've always done since I was younger. You know, hunger's a choice now. It was a necessity back when I started my protein. But if I don't do something and have a purpose, or anyone, then you're going to drift in life. Probably end up doing things you shouldn't do, or just be a bit of a waster. And I don't want to be looking back in 10 years and think, why did I waste all that time when I could have done something productive? Of course, I still need to enjoy myself, live life and see the world, enjoy my children, but I need a purpose. You need us, and everyone does, I think. You know, I've worked in lots of different jobs, and sometimes you wake up in the morning and you really don't want to go into work. It's like, oh, you know, you need to find something that you enjoy doing, and it doesn't become work then.
Do you think you will ever stop?
I don't want to, I don't want to. That's the thing.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's all about balance. I think it's now trying to soften it. I don't need to be working 16, 17 hour days. Could I do that now? I don't need to, and I probably wouldn't, so I don't. But no, I'll never stop is the short answer. But I enjoy it. Look, it's something that I'm good at and I enjoy doing it. But I enjoy other things as well. You know, I love making music, I love going to the gym, seeing my friends, all the things that I blend in now. With my protein, I didn't have any of that really.
What's your opinion on work-life balance?
Of course, it depends on your goals in life. If you're happy just to do your 9 till 5, come home and enjoy life like that, then you can make it work. But if you're looking to create something big as an entrepreneur, it doesn't exist. Simple as that. Cheers, Paul. Catch you in a bit, man. Is this us?
How are we feeling?
Yeah, good. Yeah, ready for it. Nice, good, calm energy. Nice and busy. So yeah, let's do it.
So hello and welcome to Bootstrap, Scaled, Sold, and Still Building. Very excited to be here with Oliver Cookson. Oliver, thanks for joining me. And I think the most interesting part of that is where you started from. Is starting from scratch with a £500 overdraft true? And if so, how did you get from there to here?
Yeah, it is true. It sounds like a made-up number, but it was actually it was all the overdraft I could get at the time. My protein was a hard journey. There was no capital, no investors, no mentors, no co-founders, and no debt. I kept 100% to the end.
What would you say is the lesson from that? Starting from nothing, just reinvesting. What did you take away from it?
I think the hardest thing is from 0 to 1. The thing I took away from that is, believe in yourself. And no one knows what the top of the mountain looks like, but you know what one step in front of the other. That's the metaphor I always come back to.
It sounds to me from that resourcefulness is something that's absolutely core to who you are as an entrepreneur. Tell me more about where that comes from.
That's probably one of my strengths. I've got lots of weaknesses. I will get to them. But resourcefulness is absolutely paramount. You have to do what you can with what you have, play to your strengths and mitigate your weaknesses.
What would you say in that are your strengths?
I think being honest with yourself. I think it's important to look in the mirror and look at what you're good at and what you're not good at. And that SWOT analysis of self is an important thing to learn to enable you to grow.
In all of the businesses you've got at the moment, there will have been a rocky road. Nothing runs smoothly, I don't think, in the world of business or entrepreneurship. For you, what is the challenge you come up against consistently? Where do you think the real struggle has been?
I think the hardest thing in business is people. It's how to keep the motivation at scale, keep everyone focused and everyone aligned and growing with you and on the journey. I've been very lucky. I wouldn't be able to achieve anything near what I've achieved without the team around me. I'm blessed for that, but it's definitely a challenge. It's definitely a challenge.
What are the signs for you that you have found someone good, that you want to work with that person?
Look, you can teach a lot of things to an employee or a member of your team, but you can't teach passion. So that's the one thing I look for in an interview. I want to see that burning, firing desire, someone to really go that extra 10%.
Have there been any specific events that you want to raise as an example of times you've really felt challenged by any of your businesses?
Well, yeah, probably from my protein news, we were using, obviously whey protein was our key core commodity, and we were using one particular dairy, I won't say who, because I don't want to embarrass them, but we were buying a shed load of tons and tons of whey off them. We saw we were growing like a weed, because obviously 80% of sales in the sports nutrition business is whey protein typically. And we were selling, it was going like this. And then one day he came to me and said, look, we're going to stop selling protein to you if you don't sell us your business or a majority of the business for a song. So basically blackmail. We ended up bringing in whey from America, which has got its own difficulties because bringing in milk-based products from America to the EU is lots of levies. But look, it showed that you should never leave a single point of failure in any business. People will try and take advantage.
So there's that example of resourcefulness again, right? There's the main route has been blocked. What other paths have I got? How can I find an alternative route, even if it's not the route I intended to go down? You're obviously at the top of your game now, but I wonder what you find harder. Is it starting out from scratch with nothing, or is it staying hungry when you reach the pinnacle?
I don't like to think of reached the pinnacle. I don't think anyone ever reaches the pinnacle, because I think that's when you give up. But look, 0 to 1 was hardest, no doubt. Starting a business with minimal capital on my own, no co-founders, just me, myself and I, that was tough. But hunger wasn't a choice then, it was a necessity. But now hunger is a choice. I don't want to be that person in 10 years when I'm 50, 60 and look back and go, I've just wasted these last 10 years sort of fumbling around. There's only so much sand you can get in between your toes. I want to look back and be proud of what I've achieved. I was going down a few wrong paths when I left school at 16, not going anywhere, going out too much. I found the hacienda and going down a few murky paths, but I found the gym, and that really did give me discipline. And going to the gym is good for physicality, but it's also good for mental fortitude. And look, there's no violins again here, but being an entrepreneur is a lonely path, especially as sole founder. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's important to look after your mental health.
So for anyone here who has the ambition that you have, and they are thinking of perhaps starting out bootstrapping that first business, what would your advice be to them?
I think it's sort of what I touched upon before. Have a self-honest audit with yourself. Everyone's good at some things and everyone's bad at others. Really play to your unfair advantages, My advantage was very good at tech. I've got a strong commercial acumen. My weaknesses are finance. So everyone just play to your strengths and mitigate your weaknesses. And also believe in yourself. We're all a lot more powerful than you think. We've got a lot more within, and we all doubt ourselves a bit too much, especially in those early years.
Oliver, thank you so much for your
time. Thank you everyone. Appreciate that.
Thank you for coming along, everyone.
Thank you. Yeah, that was good. Enjoyed that. Seemed busy. People seemed to be receptive, and lots of great questions at the end from people there. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah.
Every journey I've been on started the same way. One step, one problem to solve. No map, no certainty, just curiosity. I did not begin with resources. I began with resourcefulness. At first it was survival, then it became a strength. Learning to adapt, learning to discipline, learning how to find a way with what I had. Chapters changed, but the principles did not. The work, the focus, the willingness to keep learning. I'm still building, I'm still learning, I'm still evolving. That part will never stop.